What's up, my beautiful people? Exile451 here with yet another daily dose of Reddit Happy. Going back to a sub I haven't touched in a good while, r/Tales from the Customer. So, let's get to it. Our first story is from Harls and Mr. J Forever. Cashier with a true holiday spirit. I went to the corner of Happy and Healthy. I needed to grab a few things and head out. As I get in line, there are two men ahead of me, separately checking out. The one with the cashier is short a little money. Before I could jump in, ask my items to be added on, and pay the difference, which I do when I have a few bucks, the cashier reached into his pocket and threw out a few coins for the guy. Then the next guy was an elderly gentleman. The cashier had bagged his greeting card separately from his other items so it wouldn't get crushed. Now, the older man had no idea, and though the cashier was just giving him an empty bag by accident, the older man threw the bag back at the cashier. The cashier insisted he take it, and it has his greeting card in it. So this is rare in my area. Most cashiers have no cares to give and tend to be rude right back. They shove greeting cards in with the rest of the items to be crushed. Nope, not this cashier. And he had a smile along with a friendly demeanor the entire time, even after the elderly man was rude. I told the kind cashier I saw what he did with the change, and that I was going to leave a kind review and leave out the details, as I know some of the above can get you into trouble at work with corporate. I did 5 years at Hellmart. I ended up going and taking the survey online for him, mentioning his name a lot, just stating how he was friendly and had the holiday spirit. Hopefully nothing incriminating that could get him in trouble, just a glowing review of him. With it being corporate, I'm not sure how far those surveys go, but I hope it helped some. Oh, well, what a sweet story. I can only imagine the absolute nightmare it must be to work in retail, especially around the holiday times, and for someone to still be able to smile and just roll with things even after a customer was blatantly rude to him like that just speaks really highly of their character. I don't know how far those surveys go in corporate. I imagine they go somewhere because every store I go to these days keeps insisting that I do one. But the fact that you went out of your way to do so and make sure that he was highlighted, I'm sure will come back to him in some way. Regardless though, thanks for sharing your story, and I'm glad that you were able to see an example of just a happy-spirited, good retail worker during what is probably their worst time of the year. It just goes to show, everything's just simply a matter of what your mindset is. Our next story is from user AngelfishMan87. Young employee with a heart of gold. So, I've been struggling the last few years since my husband and I separated. We are still trying to make things work, not actually divorced, but mostly living apart. While we were married, I stayed home with my kiddos for 7 years, so I hadn't been in the job market for a while. Anyway, I work part-time now, and my husband is more than gracious with helping financially. It's still hard, and I work part-time, but get WIC and SNAP for our 3 kids. I went to a large bulk-type store where you can only do cash or debit, and you bag your own stuff at the end. I had gotten a few Visa gift cards for my parents as a birthday gift, so I didn't think anything of the food we were buying, knowing I had the cards to pay for what SNAP wouldn't, like diapers, laundry soap, dog food, etc. When it came time to check out, I found out that my gift cards likely won't work, but we can try a default PIN that the checker knew about to get the exact balance on the cards so she could do it manually. By this point, I have a huge line, and I am shaking as I enter numbers on the PIN pad as I try and fail repeatedly to determine what the default PIN may be. Checker said, in most cases the machines recognize the Visa cards as credit, so it's not likely to work. But I had to try. I had no other means to pay. After about 10 minutes, I'm shaking, gritting my teeth, trying not to cry. A checker from 4 aisles over has somehow seen what was happening. Very young boy, probably either in or barely out of high school, strode over with a big grin, greeted my girls, and asked me if my girls could have a candy. I said I can't manage to pay for what I have, let alone treats. He said it was fine, helped them pick a treat, and even an extra chocolate bar for mom. Me. He came around to me and just ran his own card. I was dumbfounded and just lost it. We're talking almost $200 in groceries, guys. He just did it and was smiling the whole time. I couldn't stop thanking and crying, and then people around us clapped for him. It was surreal, like something you see in a movie. He then helped me and my girls bag our stuff and helped me load it in my car. He didn't say much to me, but focused so much on my girls, 3 littles under 6, and making sure they were helpful and all. He just kept talking with them on their level, but also telling his story to them. He mentioned that he has 4 brothers and his mom was just like us, etc. It was the cutest and most humbling experience for me. Whoever this boy's mama is, I commend you. You are doing your stuff right. When he was done helping me load, he let me hug him when I asked, still crying. And he just said, "Keep doing you and you guys will be alright," and skipped off to snag a stack of carts on his way back into the store. Not once did he seem to be second guessing his choice to pay so much for us, and he was just happy, positive, cheery, almost inspirational. I didn't get his name, but I did call up and try to describe him the best I could to management, so they knew they needed to hang on to that employee. This is the second time this year I have been blessed by an awesome employee experience from this specific store. They obviously are hiring phenomenal people. I have already sworn to myself I will be paying it forward the first chance I get. I think the most surprising part of it all, to me, was his apparent age. He could not have been older than 20. A teen boy doing this for me just blew me away. You know, it's kind of funny how people take a lot of chances they get to take swipes at a different generation, and especially with the ones that are coming up these days, where there's the stereotype, accurate or not, of them being self-absorbed and always in their phones and obsessed with social media and whatnot, to the point where there's a developing sense of narcissism. It's nice to see stories like this, where someone in that generation goes that far out of their way, and that $200 for a kid in high school, that's a lot of money. I mean, that's half of a current generation gaming console, for crying out loud. So for him to sacrifice that much just to take care of a random stranger says a lot about who he is and the character that he's been brought up to have. Thank you so much for sharing the story, and when you do get that chance to pay it forward, make sure you share that, because I'm sure it could inspire someone else to do the same. Wherever you're at right now though, I do wish you the best. Our next post is from user SunnySkies614. But first, if you're enjoying the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you can get more of your daily dose of Reddit Happy. Great staff, great birthday. My daughter was having a rough time with bullying at school. My husband and I wanted to do something extra special for her 11th birthday. We discovered that her favorite YouTuber was going on tour. We live in a rather rural area, and the closest venue was in a large city about 4 hours away. This just happened to be the same night of her birthday. Without hesitation, we ordered tickets. Knowing that 4 hours is too long to drive after a concert, we also booked a hotel for the night. Fast forward to the day of the concert. We head out early in time to get to the hotel so we can relax a bit before the concert. Now, I picked this hotel because it had a shuttle that would drop us off and pick us up a couple of blocks from the concert venue. We arrived at the hotel and I went to check in while my husband and daughter waited in the car. While checking in, I asked about the shuttle. The front desk agent asked where we needed to go, and I told him the name of the venue. He explained there happens to be a festival going on in town that weekend, and most of the downtown roads were closing a few hours before the concert. So he suggested I use Uber. Now, like I said before, we are from a very rural area. Uber just doesn't exist out there. I explained this to him, telling him we were in the area as a birthday treat for my daughter and didn't really know much else about the area. The front desk agent took the time to explain to me how to use the app, telling me exactly where to be for the pickup. He also explained to me about the food options around the venue most suitable for an 11-year-old. He was very helpful. I thanked him and headed to the room. Fast forward to after the concert. My daughter was on cloud 9. She got to meet her celeb and have her pic taken with him. We enter the hotel lobby and walk over to the pantry area to what kind of drinks and snacks they have. There was a lady I had not seen when checking in stalking the area. She turned around, and as soon as she saw my daughter, she greeted her. "Hey there, birthday girl, how was the concert?" Daughter, look at me like, who in the world is this? "It was amazing." "So you had a fun birthday?" "It was the best day of my whole 11 years. You need to finish it with a sweet treat. Pick you out some treats as a birthday gift from the front desk. After I give her the okay, she hesitantly gets a Hershey bar. Is that all you want? You need more than that. She hands my daughter a couple more bars and lets her pick a drink. There you go, pretty girl. Happy birthday. We thanked her and headed to the room. When we got there, she told my husband all about it and that the lady called her pretty girl. That meant so much to her after the bullying she had been going through. The hotel staff went above and beyond to make our stay better. How the lady stalking knew who we were, I have no idea. But her surprise birthday greeting and gift was just the icing on the cake. You gotta love pleasant little surprises like that, just coming out of the blue, being these awesome little things to just relish and enjoy and to be able to share with others and to be able to just lift you up. It is kind of weird that she knew about it, but I have a guess that since you told the front desk, it was probably something that went around the hotel. Still, that is an awesome experience, beyond just the guy at the front desk, but also someone who just stocked a vending machine. When establishments go this far out of their way for it, they not only build massive goodwill, but they do make memories that last an entire lifetime. Thank you so much for sharing, and I really hope that you went out there and left them a super positive review, because places like that really deserve it. Our next story is from user Lenzo94. To the pet shop worker who served me after my rabbit died. Growing up, I adored rabbits. Still do. Bloody cute as heck. And had a black rabbit called Hades when I was 9 years old. He was gorgeous and I loved him dearly. Sadly, one day my mom came up to me and said she accidentally left the gate open when Hades was running around outside and he ran away. I was so distraught and it was a genuine mistake on my mother's part, so I was never overly mad at her. It took me a while to get over it, but my parents agreed to buy me a new one. So off we went to the pet shop, and when I'm picking out a rabbit, I told my story of woe to the pet shop employee. What she said to my 9-year-old self, I still remember to this day. Really? You lost a black rabbit? Oh, that's weird. There's a group of wild rabbits that lives in the woods by where I live, and I always see them when I leave for work. Recently, a black rabbit has joined them, and they all seem very happy. My eyes lit up. I knew it was Hades and he was okay. He was living a happy, wild life out there. I rested easy after that and brought home my new rabbit. Believe it or not, it was only recently I realized that she lied to me. But what a wholesome lie. I wish I knew who she was so I could thank her personally, because it really helped a 9-year-old me feel okay with the death of my beloved rabbit Hades. Oh, it sucks to lose a pet, it really does. In the rescue pet videos that I've done for the channel, I've closed it out by talking about getting rescue pets, and I had 2 dogs that were semi-rescue because it was either I get them or my recovering aunt out in California was going to get them, and only wanted one of them, but they'd grown up together, so there was no guarantee they'd stay together because I honestly wasn't sure if she would keep them together. And they were the absolute most amazing dogs for me. The day Scotty died was one of the worst days of my life. And I lost Emma about 14 months after that. Oh man. Just going back there hurts, but it always sucks to lose a pet like that. Especially when you're that close to them, when they're basically like your best friend like that. To have someone go out of their way to make a 9-year-old you who is clearly still grieving feel better like that, even if they did lie. That just says a lot about them and knowing what kids need at the time. I mean, that's just a wonderful example of just basic human decency. Thank you so much for sharing this story, and wherever you're at right now, I truly do wish you the best. That was r/tales from the customer, and if you're looking for more positive and uplifting stories from customers' perspective, then go ahead and check out the playlist link in the description below. Now you guys go out there, have a great weekend. I will see you all on Monday. Until then, I'm Exile451. Stay beautiful, people.